coming down.
Entire communities were wiped out, and critical infrastructure was destroyed in many other mountain towns.
So all this water comes into your house, and it's mixed with raw sewage, and then the water recedes, and it just leaves this filthy muck. And then all this stuff has to be built back, and so the problem is insurance.
The carnage is surrounding the Samaritan's Purse home base in North Carolina, so Graham says they were there from the start and continue to do what they can to help.
We've purchased so far over 3,500 generators, and we flew these generators, and we flew fuel, and they could plug in and get electricity back, and that was a huge need.
Graham says winter's on the way, and already there's frost most mornings, so they've handed out 13,000 blankets. He says the need will persist for years. Go to SamaritansPurse.org for more information. I'm Steve Jordahl.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Did you know that what happens in your state legislature affects your daily life, liberty, and property just as much as what happens in the White House? Maybe even more. How will you decide which down-ballot candidates deserve your vote on November the 5th? Resist being swayed by emotional campaign ads and sound bites. Visit iVoter Guide for the facts about the state legislative candidates on your ballot so that you can think for yourself. Election Day is Tuesday, November the 5th. Vote wisely with iVoterGuide.com. That's iVoterGuide.com.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
What is the proper name of a hot dog?
Absolute delight.
It is an absolute delight.
But I'll give them an A+ for being able to eat ice cream with chopsticks. That's a real talent right there.
I stayed 5 hours at a Japanese restaurant one time trying to eat soup. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Thanks for listening to AFR. Tim Wildman here with Ed Battagliano. Good morning, Ed.
What's up?
And JJ Jasper. I didn't hear JJ. Is his microphone working? All right, we're talking to our producer here, Adam Suddeth.
Great to be here.
All right, there we go.
Adam is filling in, so we're giving him a whole lot of grace.
That's right. Adam's
and he's off to a great start.
Yeah.
No, you're doing great.
All right.
That's like whenever we heard the guys watching the smoke signals, and they heard these drums off in the distance back in the old cowboy and Indian things, and the guys told the others, he said, I don't like the sound of those drums. And he said, what? He said, listen. He said, I do not like the sound of those drums. And so they started reading the smoke signals, and they said, not our regular drummer.
I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah. So this is not our regular control board operator,
right.
but he's going to do great.
Adam Sutter filling in for Brent Creeley. It's Trivia Friday. We're going to ask and answer trivia questions today. We're going to give you the phone number to call in and answer and ask. You need to be 11 years old or older to participate with us. That's one of our ground rules. I'm going to give you the phone number right now. This is for folks who haven't been on the air with us in the last 8 weeks. True?
That is true.
So if you have not been on the air with us in the last 8 weeks, you are eligible to call in and be on the show today. Trivia Friday, also known as
Learning University.
What's the phone number, Ed?
It is 888-589-8840. We threw a bunch of eights in there for you. 888-589-8840 is the number to call to be on this here show.
888-589-8840. If you answer a particular question right, you will hear this sound.
Ah, the beloved cowbell.
The beloved cowbell shall ring, and all the world will know you've won yourself an AFR ball cap, which we usually have in the studio but don't have today.
It's all right, Adam.
But anyway,
we love you, man.
Right. Yeah.
It's an AFR ball cap / trucker's cap / farmer's hat.
Yes.
So,
or you can just wear it around the house.
Yeah, we don't care where you wear it.
That's right.
So one of these original 9 questions is the mystery question.
Yeah.
You don't know which one it is, but if you land on it and answer it correctly, that's what you'll hear, the cowbell, and you'll win yourself a nice trucker hat.
Amen. All right. Anything else to say here?
You know what? I think we've covered it in record time.
Yes.
We're off to a blazing start.
Go ahead and give your questions.
All right,
in.
here are my 3 questions. Question number 1, the Ohio River forms what border for the state of Ohio? North, south, east, or west? The Ohio River forms what border for the state of Ohio? North, south, east, or west? Question number 2, on a 1960s cartoon, the theme song has the words, "Here I come to save the day." What was the cartoon? Here I come to save the day. I would do it in the voice of the cartoon character, but that would be giving too much away. What was the name of the cartoon? And then third question, we're almost out of time for these, folks. We've got Election Day coming up. Who were the presidential candidates in the 2012 race for the White House? Talking about Republican and Democrat only. Who were the presidential candidates in the 2012 race for the White House?
Here's what I've got. First question, there are many important women mentioned in the Bible, but they are unnamed. We know of Sarah, Ruth, Hannah. I want you to name 2 stories of important unnamed women in the Bible. Looking for 2 Bible stories. Briefly, tell me 2 Bible stories of unnamed women in the Bible. Second question, Monopoly game pieces, the tokens. Originally, there were 10. Name 3 original Monopoly game pieces.
I like that.
Third question, what does the Energizer Bunny wear on his feet? You picture him beating that drum, going across the screen. We've all seen that hundreds of times. What is he wearing on his feet?
Okay.
That's a great question.
All right. Now, the World Series, the Baseball World Series, is underway or about to get underway. And it's the Los Angeles Dodgers against the New York Yankees. And the Los Angeles Dodgers moved to L.A. from Brooklyn, New York. I want to know how the Dodgers came to be known with that nickname.
As Dodgers?
Mm-hmm. What was the reason?
I don't think I even have a clue. That's a great question.
Yeah. So the Dodgers, the Los Angeles Dodgers, how did they get their nickname? Of course, they moved from Brooklyn. They were Brooklyn Dodgers to the Los Angeles area.
Here's the deal. You kids in middle school, you don't think dodgeball has consequences? It's got ramifications throughout history. Besides getting hit upside the head by them 6-foot kids in the 5th grade.
The PE teacher didn't care.
No, sure didn't.
Didn't care at all.
I think that's a way to repay kids for having a bad attitude.
In fact, I remember one PE teacher slipping $5 to the class bully to hit me in the face.
Right.
$5. That's all I was worth.
The NFL concussions have nothing on
no,
middle
dodgeball.
Dodgeball.
That's right.
Dodgeball.
All right. So, how many total time zones are there in the world? How many total time zones are there?
Now, are you talking about during daylight savings or?
Well,
I guess it
I don't want to get too complicated.
No, I know.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
How many total time zones are there in the world?
Under normal circumstances.
Under normal circumstances, some of you don't have some kind of eclipse or some kind of sun moon glow that goes over Canada that people go out and look at their yards at.
And you lose an entire time zone.
Yeah, exactly.
You take this pinhole and these 3D glasses, and you can see an extra time zone.
From your front porch.
Yes.
All right, and finally, what country grows 40% of the world's coffee supply? There's one country.
Wow.
There's one country that produces 40%, grows 40% of the world's coffee supply. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started, Ed.
All right, we're going to go first to Texas. And Iris is on the line. Iris, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning. I can't believe I'm number one. Hallelujah.
You are number one, Iris.
Yes, you are.
And you know what? Yeah, I love their ministry. It brings such joy to my heart.
Amen.
So you're gonna ask. I know the routine because I love it. But
well.
I will answer and ask. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, Iris.
great.
Bless you. Where do you live in Texas?
I live in Rockwall,
Rockwall.
25 miles outside of Dallas, and we love you, and you have so many friends and supporters in this area.
Yeah, well, thank you
Wow.
very much.
Amen.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
That's a blessing.
That's a nice area there, right on that lake. What is that lake called?
Lake Ray Hubbard,
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
and it's
yes,
exploding. But the wonderful part is they have godly values for the most part.
yes, yes. Well, it's a
Good.
great city, and we've stayed there many times on that.
Rockwall, now ain't that where they got all them people they got from them UFOs and they got them in the warehouses there with a big electric fence around it?
No, I think you're thinking of New Mexico
Yeah,
somewhere, but
New
we have
Mexico.
an actual rock and a wall.
Yeah, yeah,
You can
exactly.
see a little statue on the square.
All right, Iris, you want to ask it? You said do both. Okay, which one do you want to answer?
Well, I'll answer the two women of the Bible.
Yes,
that
ma'am.
were not named.
Yeah, here's the question again. There are many important women mentioned in the Bible, but they are unnamed. We know of Sarah, Ruth, Hannah. And Iris, I need you to name two stories briefly of important unnamed women in the Bible.
Well, I will answer this one because I'm a widow, the widow of Nain and the widow of Zarephath.
Nicely
All
done.
right.
And I was thinking the widow's mite, the woman
Yeah.
at the well, Job's wife. You just have so many people in the Bible that aren't named. We know a lot of the ones that are named. But thank you. Great job. Way to start us off, Iris. What's your question for us?
Okay. I'm also a Jewish believer, a Messianic Jew.
Amen.
And today is a glorious holiday, holy day, and sometimes we have to celebrate in the midst of difficult circumstances. So what is the holy day or the holiday, if you want to call it, that Jewish people around the world celebrate today?
Oh,
Today?
Wow, yeah.
I don't know without
Guys,
looking it up.
Yeah, I'd have to look at a calendar or something. Do you know, JJ?
No, I don't. We should know that. If John Riley was here,
He would know.
He would know.
He
yes.
would know. He's from that part of the world, has family there.
Yeah.
I think you're going to learn us something, Iris.
What's the answer?
Well, it's Simchat Torah, and it's the giving of the law. And this is one interpretation, but some people believe it's nothing against Christmas. I love it, and I celebrate from November to January. But some believe that Jesus was really born during Feast of Tabernacles, and on the 8th day went to the temple. So the giving of the law is so amazing if you choose to interpret the word that way, or interpretations of it that way.
Wow, interesting. And now, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you when you first gave. What holiday is it? Jewish holiday?
It's called Simchat Torah, and one of my wonderful Bible teachers that I go to showed a beautiful picture. You can Google it and see of them in the Bible days where they go through dancing and celebrating the Torah. And it's such a rejoicing celebration, and it's right after Feast of Tabernacle ends, so it's a continual celebration.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing that, Iris. And again, thank you for your kind words about how well received AFA and AFR is in your community. Have a great weekend. God bless you.
Thank you. Oh, what sweet words from one of our listeners. That just really encourages us. Thank you, Iris. Well, we go next to North Carolina, and Herman is on the line. Herman, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Herman, we've joined the entire world praying for you guys, especially Western North Carolina. How are you holding up?
Well, I'm in Laurinburg, which is lower, probably west-east in North Carolina, lower right there at South Carolina. We're not near that area, but our church and Baptist disaster relief teams have sent many of truckloads up that way. And I personally am going November the 4th with disaster relief to participate and help in recovery.
Wonderful.
Wow, thank you for
We
that.
heard from Samaritan's Purse on AFR News, Franklin Graham talking about that. 8 Days of Hope, Steve Tiber, they're there as well. So we continue to pray for North Carolina. Herman, you want to ask, answer, or do both, sir?
I like to do both.
Which one do you want to answer?
The Here I Come to Save the Day.
All right, here's the question for those just tuning in. On a 1960s cartoon, the theme song has the words, "Here I Come to Save the Day." What was the cartoon, Herman?
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
Mm-hmm. Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
How long did that cartoon hang?
Anybody who grew up in the 60s and 70s will know it's Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, that's right.
Should know.
It was on. I looked. It started in the 60s and went into the 70s.
So go ahead and do it.
No, I can't. My throat, when I try to do that, "Here I come to save it," I just can't get to the.
You just did it.
But now you do that when you come home on Fridays to your wife, don't
Yes,
you?
I do.
When you cross the threshold.
Here I come to eat the pizza. I can't quite get it right anymore. My voice just doesn't have the range it used to. But hey, when I get home on Fridays, I give it a shot.
You have to have range to do that.
That's it.
You're kind of like an opera singer in a way.
Herman, what's your question for us?
All right. This is an agricultural question, and it's kind of a broad. If you can hit the mark, you got a real broad way to get it. How many feathers does the average adult chicken have?
How many feathers?
How many feathers?
Does an apple?
Okay, now this sounds like I'm just telling you some big tall tale. But we went to one of those pumpkin patch things yesterday afternoon as a family, and there was a big old thing there where the chickens were, and it had all these facts about chickens, and I could not believe it. It said they actually go back as far and kind of are a cousin of the dinosaur. It told how many languages they can hear, how many different clucks mean different things, and it just went on and on and on about their personalities and talents and just on and on. A lot of
Chickens
stuff.
have personality?
Yes, and it said that if you need to back into the pen when you're first establishing the thing with them. And I read the whole billboard because I was so intrigued. I thought, I didn't know anything other than you get eggs, fresh eggs, and then that was about it,
I'm just going to be honest. That last one about backing into the pen makes me feel like we're being played. Don't make eye contact with the chickens.
I say, being played by some chickens. I don't know how many feathers. It might have been on the billboard, but I know that they can eat a lot of stuff. It says, they eat corn and they eat mosquitoes and all that, but it says they'll even eat field mice.
Yeah, and I've told this story before. My wife we used to have chickens, and my wife had one that was her favorite, and she would call Arlene. She named it. She would call Arlene when we would drive up, like on a Saturday if we went to Hardee's for a biscuit. Arlene would come running, and my wife would feed her the rest of her chicken biscuit. And I used to tell her, I said, that is just so wrong.
That's dark.
Because it's your feet. But the chicken didn't care. It was eating chicken, and I'm sure it tasted like chicken.
Yeah, they got a word for that. It's cannibal. Hey, so what's the answer, Herman? We're not going to know. How many feathers are on a chicken?
Well, now, I got this off the internet, so we're going to have to go with that. It says the average adult chicken has anywhere from 6 to 10,000 feathers.
Wow.
That's a lot of feathers.
6,000, 10,000?
Yeah, I think that's a bit much, but it's on the internet, so it's got to be true.
Yeah. No, you got to have that many. You have to have that many feathers when you tar and feather the politicians.
Yes.
Politicians, and you send them out on a rail out of town. You need a lot of chickens to get that job done.
That's a lot of duct tape using to pull those feathers off. How do you get all those feathers off? I've never plucked a chicken. That's a lot. That's a lot to pluck.
I helped kill 100 recently, and even with the plucker that you still have to manually pull feathers off.
Right.
Wow.
All right, buddy. Thank you for giving us that information right before lunch.
Yes, sir. God bless you, Herman. All right, let's go to Texas, and Jedediah is on the line. Jedediah is 13 years old. Jedediah, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hello.
Hello, Jedediah. Welcome to the program. Where do you live in Texas?
I live about 30 minutes outside of Waco.
Yeah, welcome back. I recognize you being on the show before. Jedediah, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
Both, please.
Which one you want to answer?
The coffee question.
Okay, Jedediah, here is the question. What country grows 40% of the world's coffee supply?
That would be Brazil.
Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
40%.
Yeah.
That's a
How,
lot.
how did you know that?
I looked it up.
That's all right.
Okay.
Research.
Okay. Well, 40% of the world's coffee supply comes from Brazil. Of course, most people know you got to have a certain climate.
Right.
It has to be sort of tropical, I guess you could say, and Brazil fits that to a T. So I think I read where Vietnam grows the second largest amount. And
Well, I guess that would make sense. It's probably the same type of climate.
by far, I mean, it's a much less than Brazil. Brazil, I'm saying, is by far and away the top coffee producer in the
That's
world.
interesting. Hey, we really do learn a lot here.
Yep, we
on
do.
Learning University. What's your question for us, Jedediah?
Well, it's kind of a little bit of a medical question. You know, when they're in like a serious medical scenario and their heart is beating erratically, they use a device to shock the person to stop their heart so it will kind of recoup and start beating regularly. It's called an AED. My question is, what does AED stand for?
Here's the deal. Let me back up before they give you the real answer. In the part of Kentucky where I growed up, we used jumper cables. You got a Chevy with a 350 engine, you pull up close enough to the person what has had a spell and make sure and rip their shirt off and get them jumper cables on the battery. You want to make sure the positive is on the positive and the negative is on the negative. You can get a fella to revive. Now, he's going to have some burn marks, but it's worth it just to have him around for another Thanksgiving or Christmas.
So, okay. I think I'm just going to leave that. I was going to ask some additional questions.
I know,
but
I had them too.
Yeah.
Hey, we got one of those machines hanging on the wall here on our campus. All we have to do is run down the hall and see it's got the whole big name printed on there.
Yeah, I've never stopped long enough to look and see if it has the initials spelled out for us. I don't. You guys know?
Hey, learn us something, Jedediah. This is going to be good to know. What's the answer?
It's called an automated external defibrillator.
Automated external defibrillator. Easy for me to say.
Defibrillator.
Defibrillator.
So we had some folks over last night. Had a couple of firemen and had a nurse, and the nurse and the fireman, they were talking about when your heart starts going crazy out of control, they give them they inject something that stops their heart and literally stops their heart. And then they say, hey, this is going to feel like you've been kicked in the chest by a mule. And then your heart starts back in just a couple of seconds, a long couple of seconds, and then it starts back in the right rhythm. And I said, shouldn't an anesthesiologist be doing that? They just let nurses, no, they just let us just inject that, because you don't have time to schedule an appointment and all that.
So the person's awake while they're doing this?
Awake, and they say you're about to experience, and then it flatlines. You see the machine they hook up to, it flatlines. You kill them, and then bring them back to life.
Wow.
And they said what the drug is. It's a very popular drug. Nurses listening, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Listen, I got to tell you, if I was the person that was having that done to them, I would not want to hear that nurse go, huh. After hearing me flatline, go,
I've never seen this happen before. Yeah,
as I fade to black.
Or anybody's ever been in the hospital, they say, now, just so you know, Emily here is a student nurse, and she's going to be the one that's going. No, she is not. I want the one who's got the most experience,
That's right.
who's been here the longest. But that's something I just learned last night.
Yeah,
in that conversation.
Wow.
And I kept saying, now, you got to be kidding me. Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
And everybody apparently around the table knew about it but me.
All right. Hey, Jedediah, thank you. You learned us some good trivia, and we are appreciative of that. Thank you for listening, my brother, and you have a good weekend. Don't forget to go to church this weekend. And
if you haven't been on the air with us in the last 8 weeks, we have a 2-month waiting period between calls, appearances on the air. You're eligible to call, though, if you haven't been on the air with us in the last 8 weeks. The phone number is 888-589-8840. Again, 888-589-8840. You're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. We shall return.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
Let me ask you a question. Did you ever want to quit? Did you ever want to hang 'em up and call it a game? If you haven't, then you aren't normal. Every normal person has periods when he's ready to throw in the towel. Several years ago, I charted a course for my life. I chose what I believed to be the highest and truest way of living. I gave myself to it, and I have pursued it. But there have been times when I have wanted to quit, to call it a game and hang up the togs. Quitting is tempting because it's easier. You know, when you get knocked down time and again, it's hard to get up and go another time. When it seems as though you're behind and can never catch up, it's awful hard to keep trying. Life is tremendously demanding if a person pledges himself to the best he knows. It becomes so difficult sometimes that the temptation to give up is very strong. The benefits of giving up seem appealing and attractive. I can understand why some people have given up. They grew tired of following their highest dream, and then they started demanding less and less of themselves. Finally, the dream was no more. A person needs a solid foundation if he attempts to follow the highest and best he knows, because when the storms of doubt and despair blast against our structure, it will crumble like dust if there isn't something solid underneath. As I write this, I'm tempted to give up, to quit on the direction I chose some years back. All the advantages of giving up are looming out before me like water to a person dying of thirst. How strong the desire to quit. But I will not quit. I can't, because I know that nothing worthwhile can be accomplished by quitting. I will never accomplish all I would like to, but I will accomplish nothing if I give up. And back there when I made my decision, I wasn't promised peaches and cream. The one I follow was crucified. Why did I think following him should be easy? No, I made my vow to be faithful. And that's all he desires of me. Not to be successful, not to be popular. One thing he desires of me, to be faithful. And you know, I can do that. I can be faithful. I can hang in there and give the best I have. I will be a better person by doing that, and stronger. And by doing so, I can help another who is struggling to stay above water. Quit? Sure, I want to quit. How easy life would be if I just call it a game and run away. But I will not do that, no matter how great the temptation. He is depending on me to be faithful. And that's the one thing I can and will do. I will not disappoint him. I will be faithful. So, give me a drink of the living water. I'm ready to get back into the game of life.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Matthew 19:14.
American Family Radio.
Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight. On the sea or on the land, he gets the situation well in hand.
All right.
See, that was some range there.
Yeah, that was. That was. That was in was that 50s, 60s, or 60s?
No, I think it was 60s and into the 70s,
Yeah.
I think.
Mighty Mouse.
And
All I know is that mouse's theme parks didn't boat as well as that other mouse.
Right.
People from Japan and all around the world don't come to see Mighty Mouse and the rides he has on his thing.
Six mice over Texas.
Trivia Friday it is on American Family Radio, also known as Learning University. We're going to repeat our questions that have
heretofore
gone unanswered.
All right, here are my three. I'll have to add one. The Ohio River forms what border for the state of Ohio? North, south, east, or west? Second question, who were the presidential candidates in the 2012 race for the White House? I'm talking just the Republican and Democratic party candidates. And then third one, this is going to be a little hard. I did not know the answer to this. When you go to buy a salami, a full salami from a deli, let's say, what is that entire salami called? There's a word. You go in and you say, I want to buy a blank of salami. What's the word for that entire sausage-shaped salami called? That's all I've got.
Here's what I've got. First question, Monopoly. You baby boomers played that back in the day. Originally, there were 10 game pieces or tokens. I just need you to name 3. Name 3 Monopoly pieces. You can close your eyes, see yourself sitting around with your middle school friends or your family playing that with the different tokens. So 3 Monopoly game pieces. Second question, what does the Energizer Bunny wear on his feet? You see him beating that drum, wearing those sunglasses. What does he have on his feet? Third question, this is going to be kind of difficult, but you got a multiple choice. You have a 33 and a third chance of being a good guesser. During the 1700s, what was the main industry on Nantucket Island? A, cranberries, B, the production of gunpowder, or C, whaling? 1700s, what was the main industry on Nantucket Island? Cranberries, gunpowder, or whaling?
Where along life's journey would you learn that?
That's right. You wouldn't learn it in
where
school.
Would you pull that from?
No, that's what I said. It was going to be. We said we're going to learn people
if
stuff.
If you travel to Nantucket,
if you're just a good guesser,
good guesser.
Hey, have you been there? Probably.
I've been to Nantucket, and let me just say this. I'm going to go ahead and answer the question. Okay, Nantucket was known for whaling, and Cape Cod was known for gnashing of teeth.
Look at you!
Whaling and gnashing of teeth. How about that? You guys see what I did there?
I like that.
So actually, I have no idea what the answer is. But
all right, so here are I've got 2 questions. I'll add a third one if this one gets answered. How many total time zones are there in the world? How many total time zones are there in the world?
If it's not a leap year.
Yes, if it's not a leap year. That's right, JJ. Good point. And my second question is, the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team, how did they get their name, the Dodgers? Of course, they moved from Brooklyn. They were the Brooklyn Dodgers for a long time, and then I don't know, 50s or 60s, I think the 60s, early 60s, they moved to Los Angeles. But they kept their name, the Dodgers. I want to know how their name.
I have no idea what the answer
originated.
To that is.
It's pretty interesting. Anyway, back to the phones, Ed.
All right, we're going to go to Mississippi, and Jonathan is on the line. Jonathan, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for asking. Where do you live in Mississippi, Jonathan?
A town called Ethel. It's right outside of Kosciuszko.
Okay.
Well, thanks for calling from Ethel. Jonathan, you want to ask, answer, or both here on Trivia Friday?
I'll do both.
Okay. Which one do you want to try to answer?
I'll try to answer your question about the time zones.
Okay. The question is, how many total time zones are there in the world?
I believe it's 24, isn't it?
24. That's
Nicely
right. 24. You can't overthink that, right? I mean,
24 hours in a day.
24 hours in a day, you would think, well, that's naturally 24 time zones, right?
Yeah.
But then you go, that sounds too easy.
Yes.
Too easy an answer to get. But you're right, Jonathan. 24 time zones. How many time zones are there in the continental United States, Jonathan?
Let's see. I believe it's 4.
Let's see. We got Eastern. I had this question a couple of days ago.
Central,
Mountain, and West Coast.
Pacific.
They call
times?
it Pacific,
Yeah.
not West Coast, but some people call it West Coast. Yeah, 4.
Good, Jonathan.
Four in the continental United
Way to
States.
go,
That's right.
Jonathan.
Way to go, brother. All right, you want to fire away with your question for us?
All right. In the mid 1800s, there was an Austrian monk who is also known as the father of genetics. What is his name?
All right. Hang on a second, Jonathan. I think it's Gregor Mendel.
I got their CD where they're doing chanting and humming and everything. If you had a stressful day working in the coal mines or just out there on the assembly line, you come in, you listen to some monks humming and chanting. It's very relaxing.
Let's see.
I think it was Gregor Mendel.
Oh, you'll know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he played ball, too, a little bit later. I
For
recognize
the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yes.
Before they moved to Los Angeles.
All right, we'll go. I'll go with Ed. Tim seems undecided.
Yeah.
You're like a lot of voters.
It remains a mystery to me. I don't know, Jonathan. What's the answer?
The answer is Gregor Mendel. You were right.
All right.
Wow,
Way to go,
Ed.
Ed.
You are
Ed
something.
knows his medieval history.
Yes.
Right there. What year was that? When was that? That was probably 1900s. When was that?
It was the mid 1800s. I can't remember the exact year, but he was born in 1822, and the reason he became a monk is because his parents couldn't afford to send him off to school for an education.
That is interesting.
Well, and a lot of people don't know he finished number 3 on England Has Talent.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
yeah.
right? It was a thing back then.
Jonathan, Ed didn't think attending that all-boys Catholic school would help out, but it
sure did.
It did this time.
All right. What did, in all seriousness, what did he do?
Genetics in terms of figuring out. You ever seen the charts in science where you crossbreed?
Yes.
This plant with this plant, and you get different traits, and recessive traits and dominant traits. All that came from Gregor Mendel, and his.
How do you remember that?
You can tell I'm struggling to remember some of the details, but I'm a big England Has Talent fan, and his Gregor Mendel and his dancing pea plants. It was quite a group.
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan, thank you. Thank you for listening to AFR.
He answered the time zone question, didn't he? So
Yes,
I'm
he did.
down to 1, so
24.
I better add one here.
Yeah, you better scramble.
Here's my other question. There are 3 days on the calendar that are the top food consumption days in the U.S. One is Christmas and Thanksgiving. I guess they could go 1-2 or 2-1, And then there's a third day that represents the third day where Americans consume the most food. I want to know what day that is.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. All right, back to the phones, Ed.
All right, we're going to stay in Mississippi, and Shirley is on the line.
Surely not.
Shirley is. She is on the line. Shirley, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good evening, or it's still morning, isn't it? Good morning.
Good morning, Shirley. Thanks for
and
calling.
you just can't get enough of that joke, can you? Surely not.
No.
Yeah.
Surely not.
Well, where do you live in Mississippi, Shirley?
I live in Columbus.
Columbus.
Okay.
All right. What do you want to ask, answer, or do both?
Well, I wanted to answer the one about Mighty Mouse, but somebody beat me to it.
They did.
My husband and I were just talking about that cartoon last night, and I said, well, I'm going to try to answer that one, but I'll ask you one if that's okay.
Sure.
Shirley.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Shirley, wait, I got to stop you before you answer it. What possessed you and your husband to be sitting around the table talking about Mighty Mouse? You got my curiosity peaking all over the place.
Well, we were sitting there watching TV, and something come up about a cartoon. I don't know. Something said, and we said, Mighty Mouse.
All right.
Okay.
I don't even know what come up. We was watching TV.
Well, I know,
But anyway.
I know. Tim and Allison have a lot of bizarre conversations.
Yeah, we do.
They have a lot of random things that they think about. But I just wanted to jump in there and be nosy and ask you. All right, go ahead.
This is where the expression "and one thing led to another."
Oh. Hey, I was privileged to speak this week in Tennessee at the Fishbowl Pastors Retreat.
Yeah,
42 pastors and then their wives, and I had so many that came up and said how much they appreciate our time together and how much fun we have. And over they said, "You guys," they said, "I'll stop what I'm doing, schedule to listen because you just make me laugh so much." So that just reminded me of that. I want to give a little shout out. I forget how many states. They were from all over, like maybe 16 or 19 states.
Great.
Shirley, go ahead. Back to you.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. What do you call a fat Cajun that can never tell the truth?
Oh my! A fat Cajun
that can never tell the truth.
A raging
A
Cajun.
fat Cajun that just lies. He can never tell the truth.
Wow. Are we gonna step in it right here?
I'm not. Shirley's about to, but
okay.
Yeah, you
she's
hear
got
raging Cajun, as you mentioned, Tim. But I'm trying to think. A lying, skinny Cajun.
Yeah.
There's some profiling.
We don't know, Shirley.
No, what's the answer?
Jambalaya.
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 I like
okay,
it.
I got you.
Jambalaya.
All right,
Oh,
thanks,
man.
dear. Have a great weekend.
You could
It
probably
was fun.
You know what? That's the fun. The more I think about that, the funnier it gets. Jambalaya.
Jambalaya. Okay, gotcha.
I was thinking skinny, but they're saying overweight Cajun. That's not honest.
Yeah. All right. I guess we're going to stay in Mississippi. We got a bunch of folks from Mississippi lining up, but so we go to Nancy. Nancy, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hi there. Okay.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate you calling from where in Mississippi?
Past Christian.
Okay.
Yeah, on the
Awesome.
on the coast.
On the Gulf Coast, for those who don't know.
Correct.
Well, hey, Nancy, tell us something famous about Past Christian.
Oh dear. I've lived here only about 10 years, but
Okay.
it's a beautiful spot to come to.
Well, how many Dollar Generals do you have?
We do have
that would be a.
how many Dollar Generals?
Yeah.
Oh, probably 3 or
Okay.
4.
That's a start.
Yeah, it's a good start.
And they got live oaks, and it's just so pretty down there.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes, it
ask.
is. Yes,
You want
it
to,
is.
Nancy? You want to ask, answer, or do
Well,
both?
Somebody answered my question about the 24 time zones. However, I'll be glad to do the one on Monopoly and hope my boomer days will remember it.
All right, here you go. You got a picture sitting there at the kitchen table with that Monopoly thing, and they've passed out all the money. Monopoly, the game pieces or tokens, originally there were 10. Out of the 10 original ones, just name 3, Nancy.
All right. There was a hat, a car,
Right?
a dog.
Okay, that'll do it. Now the dog wasn't in the original ones; they added to that. So you want to,
okay.
but
Okay.
I'll give you a chance to try
Ooh.
again. The race car, the top
Okay.
hat. Name one more.
Oh gosh.
Now there's a lot of people
got me
screaming
there.
at the radio trying to help you.
I know there are. I know they are. They're hard.
Look.
I went looking for my Monopoly game.
No, that's
Couldn't
okay.
find it.
Well, listen, since I don't have a lot of questions today, I'm going to leave that one more open for somebody else to answer.
Okay, super.
But top hat
There you
and
go.
race car, you're
Okay.
exactly right. The
Okay.
Scotty dog was added later.
Really?
So
Okay.
here's what I found
Right,
out. There were
Scotty dog.
there were 10 original ones, and it's the ones that we remember. And then they knocked off a couple, added a couple, and all total over the years there have been 18.
Really?
Yeah, 18 different pieces. But the ones that we all remember as kids, those were the Scotty dog was newer.
Okay.
All right, hey, great job, Nancy. What's your question for us?
I don't have one at the moment, but go ahead. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes,
from
ma'am.
Past Christian, Mississippi. And we better repeat our questions, guys. It's been a while.
All right, here are my three. The Ohio River forms what border for the state of Ohio? North, south, east, or west? Second question, who were the presidential candidates in the 2012 race for the White House? Talking about just the Republican and Democratic Party candidates. And then, what is an entire sausage-shaped salami called? There's a word for it. You go into a deli and you say, I want to buy a blank of salami. It is the name for that whole salami. What is it?
Here's what I've got. Monopoly game pieces. All I need is one for you to mention one of the original ones because Top Hat and Race Car has been answered. So what's one more original Monopoly token? Second question, what does the Energizer Bunny wear on his feet? Third question, during the 1700s, what was the main industry on Nantucket Island? You remember when you were in class and they mentioned, well, they actually never mentioned it, ever. But 1700s, main industry on Nantucket Island, was it A, cranberries, B, gunpowder, C, whaling?
I'm looking forward to the answer. I don't know the answer to that.
I've got two questions here. How did the Los Angeles Dodgers get their nickname, the Dodgers? And I'll just give you a hint. It has to do with their days in Brooklyn. They were the Brooklyn Dodgers became the Los Angeles Dodgers. And so how did they get their nickname? Number two, in the U.S., there are 3 days that are the top most food-consuming days for Americans. Thanksgiving and Christmas, so I guess would maybe alternate 1 and 2.
Okay.
Right, but there's a third day. What's the third day that where Americans consume the most food?
All right.
You all right?
That's good.
Good question.
All right, back to the phones.
All right, we'll go to North Carolina, and Audrey is on the line. Audrey, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hi.
Hey, Audrey, it says you're 13 years old. So welcome. It's brave of you to come on the air with us. Welcome to the program. Do you want to ask, answer, or do both?
Can I do both?
You sure can.
Good guesses.
Which one would you like to try to answer?
The border of
For Ohio?
Ohio.
All right, so here's the question, Audrey. The Ohio River forms what border for the state of Ohio? Is it north, south, east, or west?
East.
No.
Good try, though.
Good try. You made it a little easier for someone else.
And that's what life's all about, really, isn't it?
What's that? Making
life
easier
for somebody else.
Someone
by
else?
your failure.
Audrey is not a failure. She came on the show, 13 years old.
I didn't call her a failure.
Okay. All right. I think you're brave, Audrey. That was a good shot you took.
Yes, Audrey. I think that you may be thinking about the Allegheny or something, a river over there, the Pittsburgh area comes down on the east side of Ohio. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good try, Aubrey.
That's a good try.
What's your question for us?
It's kind of a two-part question.
We're ready.
What language does the word idiot come from?
Well. Why am I taking that personally? I don't know.
I think
okay,
it
Audrey,
comes from a German.
Audrey, don't say anything. We're going to talk amongst ourselves. I think it's either Latin or Italian. Idiota, I think is.
Okay.
I'm going with
You go with Germany?
Ed. No, I'm going to go with the Latin or
Just the
Italian.
way you said that sounded so confident.
Yeah, I'm going to say Italian.
Instead of.
And it may actually be Latin, but I know the Italians used it because I was called that a lot growing up.
What is it in?
Idiota.
Oh, that's good.
All right, Audrey, did Ed get it right?
No.
Okay, what's the answer?
It's Greek.
Greek.
It's Greek. Well,
that's why you heard it.
That's why I heard it, because my mom was Greek.
And all of her people were Greek, so you had uncles on her side calling you.
Yes, I did hear it a lot.
All right, what's the two-part question? What's the second part?
What was the word used for?
I think that's obvious.
Okay, so
I'd say professors,
all right, let
professors
me-
of virtual universities.
Audrey, don't say anything because we want to talk to each other right here for just a moment. So your question is what was it used for? The word idiot?
It must have evolved for her to say that.
Okay, so it used to be a word used not in a disparaging way, not in a slang way, but as a word used to describe people who were mentally ill.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The idiot.
That's right. I
mean,
think
they had like they had when you had to have somebody hospitalized or institutionalized for mental illness, they would go to the asylum where the idiots are. It wasn't a
slang.
It wasn't a slang. It was
way
a
to put
formal
somebody
word.
down.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Used to describe mental homes, mental institutions. That's what.
Okay,
I'm saying.
I'm going to add. I have no idea. I'm going to add a different guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true what you said. I'm going to guess that it was meant for something that was a small amount.
Okay.
Of something, and then that was used for people who had a small amount of intelligence.
All right, I'm going to throw mine in.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was like if you have a dummy part on something, machinery or whatever, this thing is just to hold these other, it's just kind of like a dummy bolt or an idiot lever, idiot bolt.
All right.
Something that didn't have a lot of use, but it just sort of was there to, fill in a spot.
We have 3 guesses, Audrey, and we get to do that because we have 3 professors here. So did any of us get it?
No.
So we're all
that,
3.
We wasted all that brain
We
power.
are all 3 fill in the blank. All right, what's the answer?
The answer, they actually used the word, it was what they called people who didn't vote in elections.
Really?
In Greece?
Wow. That's telling.
Yes.
That'll preach.
Yeah. So this must go back to the ancient, like the Greek democratic city-states.
You're given this opportunity. You have an opportunity to make your voice heard. This is your civic duty. This is a responsibility, and you're going to stay home.
You idiot.
Idiot. For what? Say it like you mean it, Tim. You're going to stay home.
I'm going to tell you that may be one of my favorite trivia questions of the last month.
Awesome.
That was excellent.
Thank you, Audrey. God bless you. Have a great weekend. And
Man,
I just realized she was from North Carolina. You probably mentioned it. We're praying for you guys, especially there in Western North Carolina.
You're right. That'll preach, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know people. I've got family members that aren't registered to vote and don't because they go, they're all crooks, they're all whatever. And you are allowing somebody, they're not perfect and we're not voting for a pastor.
Right.
But all of these things, the trickle-down things, everything will affect you. Well, look what's happened in the last 3.5 years. Groceries, fuel, construction costs, higher taxes.
Yeah.
The interest rates almost doubled. Young people can't afford to get a home. So you say, I didn't realize there were going to be all those ramifications.
Right.
Yes. And you had an opportunity, civic responsibility. People in third world countries can't even fathom it's we the people.
Yes. We get a chance to vote.
We get a chance to do that.
All right. Do we have time for another question before the break?
I think so.
All right. We go back to Mississippi, and Buddy is on the line. Buddy, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you, sir. You still there?
We are. We're still here. Buddy, you want to ask?
Look,
Go ahead.
I'll answer first. I've done missed at least others have gotten at least 2 or 3 that I knew. I'm gonna just guess now.
All right. Which one you want to answer?
The Ohio question.
Okay. The Ohio River forms what border for the state of Ohio, Buddy?
I would say West Virginia.
Well, it does border West Virginia.
Yes, but on what side of the state, I guess, of Ohio is what I'm asking.
Yeah, if you look at the state of Ohio, where does the river run? The Ohio River run southeast, north, or west?
South. It's
South.
gonna be south.
It is. That is absolutely
That's right.
correct.
Yeah. It forms the border between I know Kentucky, but
yes, Kentucky is in there also.
West. West Virginia
You know why
too.
I know is I went up through West Virginia into a part of Ohio, and eventually ended up in Pennsylvania.
Buddy, it's
Going up
almost
to Connecticut.
It's almost heaven.
You're on something there,
Years
JJ.
ago. You know, I'm 85 now.
Wow.
Wow, you sound great
Yeah.
for 85.
Yeah. Hey, can you hold on, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Hold on for just a couple of minutes here. We're going to take a break for news, and we'll return.
Then
with
you
more.
can ask your question.
That's right. That's right. Then you can ask your question of us. Buddy from Mississippi will ask his trivia question of us after this short timeout. And then we got callers from Texas and Iowa and Georgia. So we'll take those phone calls next half hour, and we will repeat our trivia questions that have heretofore gone unanswered.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
The American Family Association, informing, equipping, and activating to transform American culture.
Jesus commissioned his disciples to make disciples, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything Jesus commanded them.
We at the American Family Association seek to aid the church in our Great Commission.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Steve Hughes. Both presidential candidates are campaigning in Texas as millions of Americans are casting their ballots in early voting. Mark Meredith has the latest on the Trump campaign from Traverse City, Michigan.
Former President Trump is all over the airwaves, television, radio, and the internet. While he's down in Texas, he's going to sit down for an interview with Joe Rogan, the Spotify podcast host. It could be an interview for Trump which reaches millions of people, specifically young male voters. Vice President Harris turned down an opportunity to speak with Rogan for this same podcast. Overnight, Trump was in Las Vegas for a massive rally, telling thousands of his supporters he feels more confident now than ever before about his chances in the election.
Border security and illegal immigration are one of the top issues for voters in swing states like Arizona, where Republican Kerry Lake is running against Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallego for outgoing Independent Senator Kirsten Sinema's seat.
He just lies. I mean, he comes right out and now he's trying to say he's for the border wall when he called it the dumb, stupid border wall and said he would never, ever, ever build it. And he has voted to have open borders every step of the way.
Hillary Clinton just can't get over her loss to Donald Trump in 2016, still bringing it up when asked about this election.
What do you think Vice President Harris needs to do, in your view, to avoid a repeat?
Well, first of all, I don't think she has Jim Comey in the wings waiting to kneecap her, so that's good, and I'm very grateful for that. But I think she is doing what she needs to do.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha says, for Hillary, it never seems to end.
Hillary Clinton blamed a few people and things in 2016 when she lost. And now she's on this 8-year public health therapy tour that never seems to end. Let me list the things that she named as far as why she lost in 2016. Russia, the DNC, her campaign staff, sexism, Matt Lauer, and the media in general, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Jill Stein, gullible voters, uninformed voters, self-hating women, campaign finance laws, the Electoral College, Anthony Weiner, and Carlos Danger, who may be the same person. The point is, everybody but herself. She didn't campaign in Wisconsin. That's why you lost, Hillary.
An immigration attorney believes the Attorney General of Louisiana is making the right move in suing the Biden-Harris administration for allowing an illegal alien with a highly infectious disease to enter the U.S. Chad Groening has more.
Louisiana Attorney General Liz Muriel filed an emergency lawsuit against several administration officials after an illegal alien from China brought a rare form of tuberculosis into the U.S. The lawsuit seeks to prevent federal immigration officials from releasing potentially infected detainees that came in contact with the Chinese national while she was in the custody of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They say she has a rare, aggressive, and drug-resistant form of tuberculosis, which carries high mortality rates. Art Arthur is a resident fellow in law and policy at the Center for Immigration Studies.
According to A.G. Murrell's lawsuit, this individual had a highly contagious and highly deadly form of tuberculosis, which, if it gets out into the general population, is going to have huge impacts on the American people. And this case is sort of indicative of everything that's gone wrong under the Biden-Harris administration.
Arthur says while tuberculosis can be treated, it is still deadly.
And many people may have been infected without even knowing it, won't know it until the first symptoms arise, and then doctors will puzzle around for a bit before they determine what exactly the issue is. So I think that Attorney General Murrell is on particularly strong ground here. We don't want those individuals to be released into the community, and we certainly don't want them to be released until they've been quarantined and until they've tested negative for tuberculosis.
I'm Chad Groening.
And splashdown.
4 astronauts on a mission dubbed Crew 8 have returned to Earth from the International Space Station almost 8 months after they left. This crew doesn't include the 2 Starliner astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, who have been stuck for 8 months. They'll return in February.
At Endeavor, we see the same. On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
More news online at afn.net. I'm Rusty P.
Election Night Coverage 2024.
On election night, the crew will be Tim, you'll be here, Ed will be here, Wesley will be here, Walker will be here, and I'll be along for color commentary.
We're going to be offering some astute political analysis.
Yeah.
It will be astute.
Huh?
Yes.
If it's not astute,
why bother?
Why bother? That's our motto.
On Election Night beginning at 6 Central, it's Election Night Coverage 2024 on American Family Radio. This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
Okay, we got 24 and a half more minutes of education coming your way.
The clock is ticking.
We go back to Buddy in Mississippi, 85 years young. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, yeah. Doing all right.
Have you lived in Mississippi Have you lived in Mississippi?
Like cartoons. I got a cartoon question for you.
Right, go ahead.
I got another one. Now, this will take you back, way back, to around 1959 or 60, in the 60s, I'll say. I'll just see if I can duplicate the man that is going to introduce you to it. Hey, boo-boo, it's time now for...
Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear.
Yeah, Yogi Bear.
Cartoon.
That's a
Yogi Bear cartoon.
That was a good Yogi. I like that.
Yeah, you did good with that.
Yeah, that was Hanna-Barbera. They were.
Yeah,
that's right.
They had a lot of hits back in those days.
Boo Boo and Yogi. Oh yeah, Yogi.
That was good too.
So Boo Boo was his sidekick.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Was he a bear too?
Yep.
He was.
Yeah, but mostly he threw him under the bus whenever he'd get caught stealing all those picnic baskets at the park.
Mr. Ranger, sir.
I love Huckleberry Hound cartoon.
Yeah,
that's who it was.
I've never been able to do Huckleberry Hound's voice. I wish I could. That's a great voice. So
okay,
hey,
have a good one.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Is ringing me right now.
Yes.
Have a good, blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, buddy. You're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Let's repeat our questions, and we will go to our next caller.
All right. I've got 2 remaining. Number 1, who were the presidential candidates in the 2012 race for the White House? Talking about the Republican and Democratic Party candidates only. And then if you go into a deli and buy an entire sausage-shaped salami, what's that called? There's a word for that whole salami. What is it?
So I'm looking for a Monopoly game piece, a Monopoly token from the original 10. Race car and the top hat have been guessed. Give me one more. One Monopoly game piece or token. Second question, what does the Energizer Bunny wear on his feet? You've seen him beating the drum. He's got the sunglasses. But what is on the Energizer Bunny's feet? Third question, during the 1700s, this is multiple choice. What was the main industry on Nantucket Island? Cranberries, gunpowder production, or whaling?
I got, let's see, 2 questions left. One is, how did the Los Angeles Dodgers come to be known by their nickname?
That's an excellent question.
It really is.
Yeah, and so that dates back to them being the Brooklyn Dodgers prior to moving to Los Angeles in the 1960s, where they got their nickname. The second question is there are 3 days where in the U.S. that are the top food consumption days. And Christmas and Thanksgiving are 1, 2. You can alternate those, who knows, but they're probably about the same, Christmas and Thanksgiving. But then there's a third day that Americans commemorate, celebrate, and so forth, and it represents the third day of most consumed food. So there you go. Those are my 2 questions.
All right, we're going to go back to Texas, and Doug is on the line. Doug, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Well, finally got through. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome.
Where are you calling from in Texas?
Quinlan, Texas.
Which is near where?
It's south of Greenville, about 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, listen, thanks for calling. You want to ask, answer, or both?
I'd like to answer.
All right. Which question you want to take a shot at here?
The Dodger question.
Oh,
okay.
Here we go.
I tell you what, if you can answer it, if you can answer this, we're going to send you a ball cap. So the question is, how did the Los Angeles Dodgers, formerly the Brooklyn Dodgers, get their nickname?
They got their nickname by dodging trolleys.
That's right.
What?
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. So, did you know that? Did you look it up?
I didn't look it up. I heard it on TV.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
that's good
Great.
memory.
Yeah.
Do you want to share any of the story backdrop there, or you want me to?
That's all I heard was that they dodged trolleys.
Yeah. So, in Brooklyn, there was a trolley system back in the day, I guess the 30s.
Before subways or something?
Yeah, before subways.
Yeah.
There was a trolley system. And the story is that the people from Manhattan would make fun of or laugh at the people from Brooklyn because the people from Brooklyn would dart between trolleys. And, they became
Sometimes successfully, sometimes not.
Yeah, but they became known as the Brooklyn
Trolley Dodgers.
And that's
fascinating.
And so
I had no idea.
So they applied their name to the Dodgers, to the name of the sports team, the baseball team in their town. So the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Now, I was asking one of our coworkers who's a huge sports fan, and I asked him how they got the name. He said, I don't know. He said, I thought they used to be called the Bums, the Brooklyn Bums. And I said, no, that's something probably like with you and Ed. That's probably a forget about it. And
Yeah,
the
they're a bunch of
bums and
bums,
the wise guys, nothing to do with the team. Isn't that kind of some language from that part of the country?
No, my dad called me a bum 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just kidding.
Always building his son up. So
what a wise
What
guy.
a bum.
Yeah,
that guy's
no.
a bum.
All
No,
right.
we would call ball players bums.
Kidding.
I am kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right,
about
so
that.
so the people in Brooklyn were known as trolley dodgers, and by the people of Manhattan, thus the name.
That's very
Dodgers.
cool. Hey,
That's
Doug,
excellent.
you want to stay on the line so we can get your address to send you the cap, but what's your question for us?
I don't have a question.
All right, buddy. Hey, congratulations.
Answer.
You won,
Well,
you won a
thank you.
nice ball cap.
Well, I'm a truck driver, and I stay in Texas, and I listen to y'all all the time. All my stations are programmed to y'all.
Now you've got an AFR
Thank you.
trucker's cap coming your way.
Thank you, Doug.
Doug, I'm going to put you on hold, and Cindy will get your information.
By the way, Ed, if people, sorry. Go ahead.
Just get his information, and we'll get that cap in the mail.
If people lose our signal, they would be listening to our radio signal on one of our towers. But if they lose the signal and they have high-speed internet on their cell phone or their iPad or something, or their home computer, they can listen there, right?
Yes. On your home computer, you can just simply go to afr.net. We stream our radio programs live, obviously and free. Or if you want to listen on your phone or other portable device, you can just go to your whatever app store you use and download the AFR app, and you can listen wherever you have a good Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah. All right, so back to the phones.
All right, we go to Iowa, and Linda is on the line. Linda, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Well, thank you. I love your station.
Well, thank you, Linda.
Yeah, that's very nice of you there, Linda. Where do you live in Iowa?
Davenport or the Quad Cities.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Well, have you been there, JJ?
I have. And this spring, Linda, I was in Mason City, Iowa. Great bunch of folks. There were 1,000 people at the community college there. We laughed together, and it was a fundraiser for the Christian school.
Go. Excellent.
Nice people
Good,
in Iowa.
Excellent cause.
I wish there was more corn and more wheat, but, it is what it is.
Right,
That's right.
right.
All right, Linda, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
Both.
All right. Which question you want to try to answer?
The Monopoly question.
All
Here
right.
we go. Yes, ma'am. So I'm looking for I'm looking for one of the 10 original game pieces, and a nice lady already said the race car and the top hat. Give me one more, Linda.
How about the iron?
The iron.
iron.
Nicely done. Well, look, while we're here, Tim, Ed, tell me a few more that you can remember. Like, what was your favorite thing?
Didn't they have a thimble?
Thimble.
Their thimble.
That's
They
one.
have a boat. Was there like a
no,
ship?
not a boat. Oh yeah, battleship. That's right. Let me tell you
see,
the
what
10
else?
original ones: battleship, race car, top hat, boot, thimble, iron, cannon, lantern, purse, and a rocking horse. That goes way back.
Wow.
But then they've added over the years a Scotty dog, a cat, a rubber duck, a penguin, of all things, and that's what it. If you buy the game today,
it'll have penguin.
There are only 8, and it's battleship, race car, top hat, Scotty dog, cat, rubber duck, thimble, and penguin.
Let me ask you a question there. Maybe I'm the only one. How do you know it's a rubber duck?
That's a real good idea. If it's made out of metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Could be a real duck.
That's what I'm saying. How do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know it's a rubber duck?
That's really good.
Well, we do know that if it was a real duck, it would have gotten eaten in Springfield, Ohio. But now we're talking, a metal duck or a rubber duck.
Hey, and some of the other ones, there have been 18. They had a T-Rex, a sack of money, a wheelbarrow, and a horse and a rider. All told, there's been 18 over the years.
It must have been it's probably been a long time since I've played, because I've never seen a duck or a penguin.
No,
or
that's
any
new.
Of those.
That's the newest. We just had the iron and the thimble and top hat. Hey, nicely done, Linda. What's your question for us?
Okay. I'm not sure how many greats. True or false question. Great grandson of David and
Bathsheba,
Orpah.
you mean?
Orpah.
Oh, Orpah.
Yes.
Were their great-great-grandsons David and Goliath. Remember the sisters of Naomi's daughters-in-law, Ruth and Orpah?
Well, I know those orpas are pretty dangerous if you're out swimming in the Pacific.
I knew that was coming.
I don't think we know, Linda. What's the answer?
Well, it's true. David and Goliath were the descendants of Ruth and Orpah.
Huh.
Well, Goliath was
I
a
didn't believe
Philistine.
it. I didn't believe it when I heard it. I thought, no, but it was from a big church here in Quad Cities, and I didn't believe it. And somebody at work who's good with a computer looked it up, and she came back and said, yes, it's true. I still didn't believe it, but stumbled
That's
on it myself.
interesting.
And very, very interesting.
I know in one of the modern translations they mentioned Free Willy. Speaking of Orphus.
Hey, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you for.
So we want to make sure we're biblically correct. If we're going to get out, are we just saying we don't know? We need more information, or
I just said that's interesting.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I listen. I'm with Linda. I'm going. Well, how can that be? Because Goliath was a Philistine. So how could he be descendant from David?
Yeah.
But Linda, I'll tell you that's very interesting.
Yeah, she
I'm going
said
to
she
check
was
it. I'm going to check it
skeptical.
out
Okay.
later
Good.
on. But
all right,
we're not committing.
We're going to verify.
Yes.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify.
Okay.
By the way, you mentioned that where you've been, Mason City. You got any places coming up where you're going on the road?
Not next week, but the week after that, I'm going to be in Scottsboro, Alabama, Pregnancy Resource Center banquet, and I'm teaching a for real college class at Blue Mountain Christian University. So I'm going to be a for real professor in one class, but that's not open to the public. But I would appreciate the prayers.
Amen.
What's your topic? Can you
Well,
tell us that?
no, I can't even say it. That's how, you know.
Okay.
Secret topic?
Secret. Yeah, it's secret.
Got nothing to do with Goliath, does it? Linda, we're going to check that out. We're like you. That's something we're going to have to. We trust you, but we're going to verify what your friend said. So, all right, we're going to continue on here, folks. You're listening to Trivia Friday on the American Family Radio Network.
Should we give our questions for the last time?
I think so.
We can.
10 minutes.
Here are my two remaining questions. First, who were the presidential candidates in the 2012 race for the White House? And if you go into a deli and buy an entire sausage-shaped salami, what's that called? There's a word for that.
Here's what I've got. First question, what does the Energizer Bunny wear on his feet? You see him beating that drum, wearing those sunglasses, but what is he wearing on his feet? Next question, during the 1700s, what was the main industry on Nantucket Island? Multiple choice, if you're a good guesser. Was it cranberries, the making of gunpowder, or whaling?
All right, so my long question left is this. There are 3 days that Americans consume the most food during the year. Christmas and Thanksgiving are the top two. What's the third day where the Americans consume the most food? And that's my question. That's the only one I have left here.
All right. Well, we go to Georgia, and Marshall is on the line. Marshall, welcome to the program, sir.
Hello.
Hey, Marshall. Thanks for calling. Where do you live in Georgia?
Valdosta.
Okay. Well, that's where 8 Days of Hope has been based out of.
They have been just down the road from us, and several different organizations have come in. We got hit with Hurricane hard, but we've been doing well, sir.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Yep. Bouncing back there, but
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Got hit 3 times in 13 months with hurricanes. I've been here 58 years of my life and never seen one before.
Wow.
And three of them.
Two of them kind of, did all three of them sort of take that same path there up to the Big Bend of Florida?
Yeah, pretty much within probably 20 miles,
Yeah.
Here's the deal, and they say them chemtrails ain't making a difference, and using them giant lasers and zipping them lasers this way and that way, you don't think that new technology has consequences? You just ask Marshall.
That's right. Absolutely. Hey, I love y'all's program. Y'all are great guys.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to ride around on Fridays when I'm working just so I can hear you.
Well, I appreciate
you, Marshall.
That.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to ask, answer, or both, Marshall?
I'm going to do a little both.
Okay.
Tim, your question about the food.
Here we go.
Number one. Okay.
Yeah, the question is, I'll repeat it for those just joining us that Marshall's about to answer. The top 3 days on the calendar that represent the most food consumption by Americans are Christmas, Thanksgiving, and what, Marshall?
I've got 3 choices, but I'm going to guess Easter.
Easter is a good guess.
That's what I guessed.
A lot of people's families gather for Easter, but it's not the answer. It's not the correct answer. But good guess.
The other 2 would have been.
Marshall, I had 2 guesses.
Don't give anything away.
And, one of mine was Easter. I wrote it down and held it up to Tim, but I'm with you on that.
All right, what's your question for us?
I know the other one now,
you
but
probably
anyway,
do. Yeah. There's only really
my
2
question
left.
for you all is this. Georgia is known as the peach state.
Mm-hmm.
But what is Georgia's number 1 crop?
Boys, I'm going to say peanuts.
I'm going to
peanuts,
go with that.
or maybe is the Valdosta onions? Is that Georgia?
That's Valdea.
Vidalia.
Vidalia.
I'm
yeah.
going to say peanuts.
I'm going to go with JJ. What about you, Tim?
I'll say peanuts.
All right, we're going with peanuts. Marshall?
As y'all say all the time, a great guess, but that's incorrect. They are the number one state in the nation for peanuts. That is correct.
Okay.
But our number one crop is actually cotton.
Really?
Cotton is still king in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah, so peach is number two. You said peach is number 2, peanuts number 3, maybe?
No, I said peaches. They always say Georgia's a peach state, but
yeah.
we're not the number one in the state. Matter of fact, we're not even in the top 4 in peach production. But cotton is number one. We are number one in peanuts as well, but cotton is our number one crop.
Okay. I wonder how. Now, do you have to have a certain soil to grow peanuts?
Man, I'm not a farmer. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm with you, Marshall. I wouldn't know.
Here's the deal. Since they ain't if they ain't the number one in production of peaches, Atlanta has got some answering to do. I don't want to insult Rand McNally, but they need to start saying Cotton Street, Cotton Boulevard, Cotton Avenue.
Right. Instead of Peachtree?
Yes.
Or Peachtree, everything? Okay. Anyway.
Thanks, Marshall.
All right. Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
sir. Appreciate
Thank you.
that. We go next to Texas, and Matt is on the line. Matt, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, Matt.
Doing well.
Where do you live in Texas?
Big Spring. We're about 50 miles east of Midland.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, I know where you're talking about, east of Midland. So, Matt, you want to ask, answer, or both?
Actually, neither. I've got a little bit of trivia bit for you regarding your Mighty Mouse.
Okay.
So they revised Mighty Mouse in the mid-'80s, 87, 88, and there was an episode where a Mighty Mouse went to sniff some flowers and inhaled them. So now I'm going to read from Wikipedia. A family in Kentucky saw the episode and reportedly interpreted the scene as Mighty Mouse snorting cocaine. The family called American Family Association in Tupelo, Mississippi. The group demanded that CBS remove the producer from the production of the show. They denied the allegations. Bakshi, the guy producing it, said, I'm not going to get into who sniffs what. To diffuse the controversy, they agreed to cut the scene from the episode. Reverend Don Wildman claimed that the editing was de facto admission of cocaine use, though CBS maintained that it was totally innocent. How about that?
Yeah, that's
I remember that.
It happened.
Yeah.
He was on his elbow. He was reclining, took out some white powder-looking stuff. And
Mighty Mouse did.
And snorted it. And the animators behind the scenes, they say they put things in the shape of buildings. They put stuff that's suggestive, and they have fun among themselves, throwing things in there, and so it'd be almost subliminal.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And Don Wildman and
and they removed it. CBS.
NFD. That's right.
CBS took it off.
Yep. Yeah. That's right. Said that there's nothing there, but
we're
they
going to take it off.
Took it off.
Yeah.
And we had a still shot of it. And it was very clear.
Yeah.
Who sniffs flowers?
Yes.
Like
it made
that.
no sense.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, buddy.
Yeah,
God
thanks,
bless you, Matt. Hey, can I throw this in? CultureWarriorTheMovie.com. All those battles.
CultureWarrior.movie.
CultureWarrior.movie, a movie about the life and legacy of Don Wildman. All those battles that a lot of people weren't brave enough to confront, and the Wildman family always had a heart for faith, family, and freedom to preserve our values.
You can go to CultureWarrior.movie and watch the trailer for that, and it will be available for wider viewing in November. All that information is at that website. Well, guys, I don't think we have time for another question.
We can put him on next week. Arthur.
Okay. Yes.
Arthur.
We'll
get Arthur's number and call him first thing
from
next week.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
And folks, by the way, I do encourage you, as JJ suggested, go to CultureWarrior.movie and watch the trailer for that
so it's not
new
.com.
documentary. It's not .com.
What is it again?
CultureWarrior.movie.
And it's free?
Well, the trailer. It's the
you can
trailer.
watch the trailer for
the trailer
free.
right now.
Yeah.
And the information about when we're having kind of a rollout of the film.
That's the movie. That's the film, the documentary about my dad who founded this ministry.
Yes.
Tells the story.
And very, very inspiring. You're going to be inspired, and you'll realize that one person really can make a difference.
Amen. All right, guys, who are the presidential candidates in the 2012 race for the White House? You guys remember?
Romney and Obama?
Yes, Romney, Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. And an entire sausage, I did not know this, an entire sausage-shaped salami is called a chub. That's what it's there's a word for it. You go in and ask for a chub of salami, you're asking for the whole thing. So all right, that's all I got.
Energizer Bunny wears flip-flops on his feet, and that was the mystery question. And then the whaling was the main industry on Nantucket Island in the 1700s.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, and what?
Super Bowl. Super Bowl Sunday.
I guessed 4th of July, and then I guessed Easter, but I didn't even think about Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl is the third most day where Americans consume food. All right, we hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Coming up in only a few days, the election. Don't be an idiot.
Yes, go and vote.
Amen. See you.